Welcome back to Skippers, presented by Owners Box Fantasy Sports. Today's segment: buy low, sell high targets for your teams in fantasy baseball. Avery, Jeremy, Drew, helping you out on some trade offers in your leagues. Before we get started, shout out to A-Sale, our sponsors. Jeremy, what does A-Sale have?
Everything.
Really, everything?
Literally everything.
Perfect. If you're drinking this weekend, you're in Ontario, drink A-Sale products. Great sponsor. Thanks to them for supporting the brand. Now let's get into it. Someone's buy low. Either of you guys get into it.
I'll go into it here. First, make sure you subscribe. Avery always forgets. Classic. Smash the like button, too.
I do forget. I can't tell them everything. I need to sometimes.
I know.
Join the Discord.
Yeah, join the Discord.
Please like the video.
Like
Please
the video.
Comment.
For sure, like the video.
When we get 100 comments and 100
makes
likes.
her day. Literally makes her day.
It's incredible. I always send Jared text. So good.
Yeah. Drop anything below. Literally, just drop a comment. My first guy, I could have went. I wanted to go someone big here. I could have went Mookie Betts. Decided to go Christian Yelich. On the Brewers, we all know what he's capable of.
MVP.
Looked kind of deeper into his numbers to see if he's back. I noticed that when Christian Yelich was actually, MVP Christian Yelich, he was swinging 30% of the time on first pitch. Now, that is extremely high. He did it for 3 years in a row. And last year, he was 13%. Were pitchers adjusting, or was Christian Yelich just not being aggressive? That's a good question. I don't know the answer, but my guess would be that pitchers were just adjusting and seeing that trend that he was swinging a lot on first pitch. But he's bringing back that aggressiveness this year, and it's up to 19%. So I think if he stays aggressive, I like Christian Yelich. Great hitter. Great for on-base percentage leagues. He walks a lot, but I do want to see more aggressiveness coming out of him and swinging the bat more. I do think the price he's at is criminally low right now, and if he becomes a top 3 fantasy player, no one's surprised here. So I would go, if I'm middle of the pack or below, I'm taking a risk on Christian Yelich right now.
You have a lot of stats here that you didn't say. I don't know why you didn't say them.
A couple of them. Right now he has the highest K percentage of his career. I don't think it's sustainable. I think that goes down. It's at 32%, just because of how much of an elite hitter he is. His in-zone percentage swing is higher, and his out-of-zone percentage is lower. So he's more patient. He's swinging less of pitches that are out of the zone and swinging more pitches that are in zone. So
I think it's injuries with Christian Yelich. We've heard some shit that back injury is not good. Everyone knows that Christian Yelich is healthy. Mm-hmm. Awesome player. Yes. I don't even know if he was MVP. Did he beat out Bellinger 2 years ago?
I think he did.
Yeah, I think he did.
Okay, so he was MVP caliber, at least if he didn't win it. Sorry for that. But it's Christian Yelich. It's the health. We know what he can do. We like watching. Christian Yelich is fun to watch when he's healthy. So cool. And it's been tough with that. And the Brewers team is really good without Castillo.
Great rotation.
Castillo being a Little League baseball player and Christian Yelich pretty much providing nothing right now. It's kind of crazy how good they've been. But it's that pitching rotation that's bolstering that.
I keep thinking the Brewers are way under 500 and they're winning their division, I think.
It hasn't been pretty, but
no.
All pitching.
They don't ask how, they ask how many, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Drew, your buy low.
My buy low is also an all-star outfielder, and it is Bryce Harper of the Philadelphia Phillies. Last 2 weeks, batting .273 with just 1 home run and 2 RBI. And on the season, he only has 8 home runs and 15 RBI. So it seems like maybe the power is gone with Bryce Harper, but that's not true because if you look at his StatCast numbers, 96th percentile barrels, 98th percentile slugging, and then on his just being as a batter for contact, he's 98th percentile ex-WOBA, and 87th percentile batting average. So this is still one of the best hitters in baseball. It's really just perhaps the situation in Philadelphia. Guys in front of him aren't getting on base. Some of these home runs aren't clearing the wall. But his season will turn around. The homers will start coming. The RBIs will start racking up as the guys in front of him start to get on base a bit more. And he's been the 36th best outfielder in Roto so far, which is ridiculous considering he's not been injured and you drafted him in the 6th or 7th overall. He has been
injured. He was on the IL. That's why last 2 weeks.
He was hurt a bit for, I think it was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I thought he just missed a couple games. Okay, pardon me. But yeah, so he was supposed to be one of the top 10 outfielders, and in the second half he should be one of the top 10 outfielders, so look for him to bounce back.
I agree.
Buy low on Bryce Harper right now.
I have Bryce Harper. I took him in the 3rd round in our 10-teamer, and I'm fine with keeping Bryce Harper. I don't think maybe a lesser-known person it would be good, but people are keeping Bryce Harper, I think. So if you want to get him, this is probably the lowest you'll get Bryce Harper as well.
Yeah.
And him, the new baseball's not getting out for home runs, really only affects guys who don't hit the ball that hard. So Bryce Harper, it's just...
Yeah, he hits the crap out of the ball.
Yeah, he's going to be fine.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, my buy low. This is an ugly one again. I'm sorry for doing this. Time has finally come. My buy low is Luis Castillo of the Cincinnati Reds. Look at these numbers. These are terrible. 2-8, 6.63 ERA, 53 strikeouts, 58 in a third innings pitch, 1.66 WHIP. But we finally got a start. We finally see Luis Castillo going in the right direction. Some signs. He didn't go totally in the right direction, but we saw some signs here. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, 30% called strike whiff rate against the Cardinals, who have been decent. This is his lowest possible value. Even could be on some people's wires. You just got to pick up a guy who has this ability. It was like Keston here. I said, if he's on your wire, you need to pick him up, and if it doesn't work out, you just drop him. You pretty much can't even drop Luis Castillo in sub leagues. That's how high you drafted him. But here, I said, if you trade someone like Patrick Wisdom or Eric Haas for this guy, whatever, do it. People want to drop Luis Castillo right now, so just trade your shittiest player for Luis Castillo to take a flyer on him, I think. He has 18 more starts probably if you go off a 30-start season, so he's not even halfway done his shitty season. 2019 and 2020, he was top 10 in the National League in strikeouts and batting average against, and right now he's the 5th biggest difference from his expected ERA to his real ERA. His expected ERA is 4.19, his real ERA is 6.63. He's got to figure it out, you'd think, at some point, right?
Yeah, you think. I mean, his numbers are worse than, let me think here. Ross Stripling probably has better numbers than him right now.
Yeah.
By a long shot.
Definitely Robbie Ray.
Randy Dobnik probably has better numbers than Luis Castillo.
And he got sent down. I don't think we've ever seen this bad.
This big of a drop?
This big of a drop from a pitcher. And, how many starts has it been?
12 starts.
12 starts. I mean, all confidence has gone in this guy. Like, when is he getting drafted next year?
12th round, maybe.
I'd like to know in the comments if anyone could think of someone that was just highly touted coming into this fantasy year.
But
it's just completely
it's kind of different because he had the track record, obviously.
Yeah, it wasn't like he was a rookie coming up.
And you don't go crazy from 2020, obviously, to inflate him this much. Like, kind of Shane Bieber was inflated a ton by 2020.
Yeah.
He had the 2019 track record. He had a decent 2018 track record,
Well, 2018, he was tipping the pitches, right? And then he was pretty buy low going into 2019.
Yeah.
Maybe he's tipping pitches again.
I don't know. I think it's the changeup. People are hitting the changeup when they...
Yeah, I don't think he's throwing that hard. I mean, we could find out at the end of the year he's battling this big injury the entire year, and then we're like, oh.
It would have been nice if they told us earlier.
It would be nice, but...
All right. Getting to your sell high.
So my sell high here is Julio Urias of the Los Angeles Dodgers. This is why I'm not a huge fan of this pitcher, and I think that his value is super high right now. He's going to get you wins. I mean, any pitcher who's throwing in the Dodgers organization is going to get you wins. He's 8-2 right now. He hasn't gone over 7 innings. He averages 6 innings pitched. He's known as a guy who they're actually extending him a little more than usual. Usually they were like 5 innings and that was it. He's got his highest barrel percentage of his career against at 8.4, and that's pretty significantly higher than what it used to be. It was like 5 or 4. So that's a big jump. He relies on his fastball. I mean, 2020 he was effective. I mean, in 2019, 2020, 57% of the time he threw his fastball, and batters had a 193 average against, but this year he's only throwing it 50% of the time because people are hitting 331 off it. That is scary to see there. Anyone who's hitting 331 off their fastball. So I do worry about how sustainable this is. He does strike out a lot of hitters, but based off the short leash that the Dodgers give this guy, I would sell high on him.
Also, Dave Roberts is an idiot, too.
Yeah, he is an idiot. I feel like this guy has to go like 1 earned to go 7. Like he has to go 1 earned, or he's getting pulled.
Yeah, it's just Dave Roberts. It just doesn't make sense. These managers stink, dude.
Yeah.
Julio Urias is great talent. He's young too, so maybe at some point here they might start to restrict some innings. I don't think they really will, but it's an opportunity to sell high on.
Yeah, I think you could get a more established pitcher or someone that they have the chance to go 8 innings or 7 innings with 2 earned or 3 earned.
Do you want Julio Urias or Kevin Gausman rest of the season?
Gausman.
Yeah,
I'll take Gausman.
Good ones. All right, Drew, your sell high.
My sell high has been one of the breakout players of the 2021 season, and that is Cedric Mullins of the Baltimore Orioles. And he's actually on even a bigger heater than the rest of the season. The last 2 weeks, 8 runs, 3 home runs, 7 RBI, 3 stolen bases, and batting .430 over the last 2 weeks. So I'm selling high on Cedric Mullins right now if I can, because if you look at his peripherals, while he's batting .325 on the season, his expected batting average is .275. That's 50 points lower. His batting average on balls in play is .371, which is pretty inflated. He's getting pretty lucky when he hits the ball in play. His WOBA is .401. His expected WOBA is .343, so that's a 60-point drop there. He's slugging .541 with an expected slugging over 100 points less at .436. So he's getting a lot of power, but really from nowhere. He's getting really lucky when he's hitting the ball in play. The expected stats will start to adjust his regular stats soon. He's going to come back down to earth. He's been the 5th best outfielder so far this year, but with Harper 36, like who would you rather have rest of the season?
Yeah, it's Bryce. Everyone knows it's Bryce Harper. It's,
right?
You can see that easily flipping by the end of the season.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
sure.
if someone in your league is really a big fan of Cedric Mullins, and even though he doesn't have much name value, will buy, I would try and sell Cedric Mullins right now for someone that's more established, someone that was a more highly touted prospect.
It's another one of those guys you get off the wire. Like, why not?
Great waiver wire piece. I think Avery had him
Week
earlier
1.
in the year when he was like 36% rostered, but Cedric Mullins, so weird. The switch hitter
That doesn't switch hit anymore.
Only lefty now.
Now only lefty. Like what was he thinking before? Like if he was terrible from the right side, why?
Well,
like
people think they have
people think they're better than other people.
So much value as a switch hitter, and I've seen it with people I've played with. It just doesn't really help. Like it's almost easier to just swing your natural way all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, obviously I don't know what it feels like to be a switch hitter because I can't switch hit for my life. But the fact that he decides to not go, and apparently he's just known to be shitty from the right side, and then he's just like, oh, I'm gonna go left side. Now he has a great year.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
It just feels like you just wasted everyone's time for a couple
Yeah.
years. But no, good for Cedric Mullins.
No, he's been great. I do think that there'll be some regression, but I do think that based off kind of like he's way better from the left side, everything's pointing towards that he can.
This is
he
real.
can keep this up, and he could be a solid fantasy outfielder.
It's also the Orioles lineup, so
Yes,
the counting
not a great
stats
lineup
aren't
to be in. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
going to be something that's always coming his way in that lineup.
All right, my sell high, also not great one. Some people might not like this. Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins. If you look at these numbers, they're great. 370 average, 408 on base, 9 home runs, 17 RBIs, great StatCast numbers, great batted ball profile. But his expected batting average is only 326, 50 points lower. We missed our prime sell high chance on Byron Buxton when he was going crazy in the first month. I played MLB The Show. He got the Player of the Month card in the first month, and it's totally deserved. But if you want to sell, this is what I'm thinking. He's going to be good. When he plays, when he's healthy, he's good. I don't trust him to stay healthy, the hamstring injuries and everything like that. But I think if you're going to sell high, the best day to sell high on Byron Buxton is the day he gets off the DL and before he plays a single baseball game. Like,
in case he gets injured.
Yes, I hope he plays I hope he plays 4 games in the minors. I hope he hits 7 home runs in those 4 games. And as soon as you get to call him up, you sell him for the whole farm. Like, you just get rid of him. You get in some great other pieces, I think.
Yeah, everyone was talking about him at the start of this year and how good he was. I mean, they're saying
he was
that
a top prospect. Like, the pedigree was there.
Yeah.
What he was doing is obviously a ton inflated, but a lot of it is real.
Yeah, like he can steal any time he wants.
Yeah, everyone's seen this talent from Byron Buxton, and they know what he can do.
Now, what could you get for Byron Buxton? It's kind of weird because it's been so while since he's played. It's tough to say like where his value is at.
Would you rather have Bryce Harper or Byron Buxton?
Bryce Harper.
Yeah. Would you rather have Jesse Winker or Byron Buxton?
Jesse Winker, probably.
Yeah. You see, I see them being at like the same level right now. Jesse Winker and Byron Buxton, where they still have question marks. I think that Jesse Winker doesn't have the injury issues, but
yeah,
similar
type
Byron
of style.
Byron
Buxton used to just run into the outfield wall. That's how he got hurt every time. And Byron, just stop running to the goddamn wall and you'll be fine, which I think he did at the start of the year. So we're proud of him for not running to the outfield wall anymore. But we need you to stay healthy. Actually, you don't need to stay healthy if we can get these guys to sell him.
Yeah, if you sell high, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, for his own health, we care.
We're praying for his
You
health.
need him to stay healthy in the rehab
But for
games.
fantasy,
True.
for fantasy.
For fantasy if you're selling them.
Yeah.
Any more notes from anyone before we finish?
No, smash that like button. Sub.
Join the cord.
Join the cord.
Cord pick of the day coming from Must Add.
Yes.
Oh, and if you join the cord, you can tell me what hat to wear.
Yes.
That's true. People
Yes.
are chirping
Hat
Drew's hat.
suggestions.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Shout out to Ace Hill again. We will see you guys next time.